I noticed that you all really enjoyed the first video, so I wanted to do a follow-up. Here are 5 more video game betas that are better than the final versions. But wait, before we go further, I can see you. I can see that you're not subscribed. It would be lovely if you please subscribe to my channel. It helps me be able to make the videos that I can make, and it'll help me be able to be monetized. So please subscribe. Kirby Bowl slash Kirby Air Ride 64. Kirby Bowl 64, or the beta of Kirby Air Ride. Man, I should have put this into my 20 and lost cancelled N64 video, but you can't think of everything. But anyway, Kirby Bowl 64 is an unreleased prototype of what eventually became Kirby's Air Ride for the Nintendo 64, which that was also cancelled before becoming the Nintendo GameCube game. Nintendo released Kirby Bowl, known in North America as Kirby's Dream Course, for the SNES in 1995. Later that year, a sequel was announced alongside Ultra Mario, Super Mario 64's beta name, and Pilot Wings 64 for the Nintendo's next console at the time, originally named Ultra 64 before becoming the Nintendo 64 that we know now. Kirby Bowl was featured in magazines and early footage shown at Nintendo's 1995 Shoshinkai trade show. However, when the Nintendo 64 launched in 1996, Kirby Bowl 64 had seemingly vanished. Eventually, the game resurfaced after being retooled into Kirby's Air Ride. Kirby Air Ride 64 was cancelled too, then the game finally released on the Nintendo GameCube as just Kirby Air Ride. As of the making of this video, this is the only Kirby racing game to exist, and Kirby Air Ride has never been re-released either. While I do enjoy Kirby Air Ride, there's something about the original version that seemed better. Although not all the details are available, the footage and previews confirmed that Kirby Bowl 64 was a 3D evolution of his predecessor. In this game, Kirby takes the role of a golf ball. Players must put him through elaborate courses, avoiding obstacles and defeating enemies before guiding him to the next exit hole within a limited number of puts. In the Shoshinkai footage, Kirby is shown using a surfboard at one point to slide along a level. This new ability likely inspired the developers to shift the gameplay into a racing title, Kirby's Air Ride, where characters use similar items to race each other through colorful courses. Man, that level from the beta looks so fun, it will always be a tease. Super Mario RPG 64, or Super Mario RPG 2, was an early beta version of Paper Mario for the Nintendo 64. It was intended to be the sequel and the continuation of the original game, Super Mario RPG. The development of Super Mario RPG 64 was planned for the Nintendo 64 DD. However, due to the system's failure in Japan, the project was ultimately discontinued. The game was moved to a standard N64 cartridge, but all development ceased when Squaresoft, Square Enix at the time, left Nintendo in favor of the Sony PlayStation. Intelligent Systems took charge of the development and converted the project into a new IP, which was Paper Mario, which was released in 2001. Though no gameplay of the beta has ever been shown publicly, the only things that can be seen is a screenshot and one magazine page. Super Mario RPG is one of my favorite Mario spin-off series. I don't know if it's considered a spin-off series since Mario is the main protagonist. Usually that's reserved for Luigi or Wario. I don't know. The original 1996 SNES version is gold, pure gold, and the 2023 remake is awesome as well. I know that Super Mario RPG 2 is no Dinosaur Planet or Conquer 64, but it hasn't stopped me from wondering what it was like. Would Geno be in the game? Things of that nature? Are we really missing out on something or nothing since there's no footage or thorough details of the game? What I've also came to know is that Super Mario RPG has a lot of legal issues surrounding one little puppet named Geno. Yes, the character that everyone cried about wanting him to be in Smash Bros for years.
Check my mail here. Okay. Oh, cool. It's a letter from Nintendo. Let's open this thing up. Dear Gino, we here at Nintendo are cordially inviting you to join the ranks of the ultimate Nintendo Smashers. Welcome to Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Your fellow Smashers include my awesome. This is awesome. I gotta go tell all my. Wait a minute. Sonic? Freaking sellouts.
This is because Geno is owned by Square Enix and not Nintendo. However, Square can't use him because if I'm correct, he's a character that was made inside of a Nintendo game, but Nintendo can't use him either, and it's just one big confusing ball of hot legal garbage. This probably explains why Intelligent Systems just made a new IP entirely, which is Paper Mario, since they can't use Geno and Mallow. I forgot about him too, because of that situation. However, it shouldn't stop fan projects from being made. One day, I would like someone to make like a Nintendo 64 reimagining of Super Mario RPG 2 or something similar to the Earthbound 64 fan-made demo I mentioned in the first video. The Sims Bustin Out. The Sims Bustin Out is a video game developed by Maxis and published by EA in 2003 for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, and in 2004 for the N-Gage. Ugh, that console. As of the making of this video, The Sims Bustin Out and The Urbs are the only two Sims games that have no PC release. Man, I love this game so much. It defines my childhood in the 2000s. On the OG Xbox, along with Hitman contracts, little wee last me, fucking up mom's house with crazy floor plans. Ah, those were the days. Anyway, despite the final game being good, there is some things from the beta I wish was kept in, like Mom, Mimi, Dudley, and Mortimer being playable, because the consoles are more than enough capable to have 4 playable Sims. It makes no sense why they aren't playable in the final version. Another thing I wish was kept in was the days of the week. As you see from the beta footage, there was a week cycle with Monday underneath the household funds. Man, I can't tell you enough how annoying it is not to have distinct days in the game. It's horrible because your sim has to work every day with no days off. Plus, you have to build skills for promotions, maintain relationships, and do objectives. Ugh. Ever since finding about this information has bothered me for years. I have no idea why they removed the week cycle from the game. Maybe because they were concerned that the week cycle will cause FPS lag, or maybe they just wanted to be sadistic and add more challenge to the game. However, years have passed since the game's release. There have been cheats and game exploits to kind of remedy this problem, like the Mom House exploit and the Espresso Machine exploit, as well as the Cheat Gnome. We can't forget about him. He has saved lives. Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 3 is a 2022 action-adventure game developed by Platinum Games and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo Switch. As for some of you who've subscribed to my channel and have watched my gaming videos in depthly, know that I play Bayonetta pretty often on this channel. The fuck? One fucking kick, man! One kick! Ease yourself! No, fuck you, John. Fuck you, John. Fuck you. You've added to the tally sheet. Our poor man, he can't get a break. So I'm kind of a huge fan of this series, and I was very excited about the game since it was announced back in 2017. Despite the whole Helena Taylor drama that ensued during the week before the game's release, I was still very hyped to play the game. One day on November 1st, 2022, I went to my local Walmart and purchased the game. Welp, I was disappointed. The only thing that saves the game is the gameplay. When it's good, and when it's bad, it's bad. That's it, I'm done. I'm fucking done with this stupid ass game. I'm done! He cast! No, I'm done. I'm done with this. No, you've gotten on my fucking nerves. The story is dog shit. The dialogue is weak, Bayonetta is weak, her personality is nothing like the previous game. Well, for spoilers for those who haven't played the game, she isn't the same Bayonetta from the last game because of the whole multiverse thing, so her personality is different. Still horrible and stiff, and not as fun and sassy as we expect someone from Bayonetta to be. The game and the whole story, please just don't get me started. The only scene that I like personally is the scene with the two OG Bayonettas from the first two games. Man, that was the best part. The rest of it was crap. After crashing out on Reddit about the game for a year, yeah, I did. I'm honest enough to admit it. I wanted to do research on the game's development and see what we were robbed of. Frankly, a lot. Actually, a lot of things I can't even list in this video because it would make the video too long, but I'm going to list the most standout details. The information I'm about to list off came from the Bayonetta 3 official art book, The Eyes of Bayonetta 3. Most of the details are in Japanese, so if you wanted to look through it, you're going to have to translate it, and the cutting room floor contributed too. The two OG Bayonettas. Bayonetta 1, whose Scarborough Fair, and Bayonetta 2, whose Love is Blue, that appeared at the end of the game, were supposed to have a couple of chapters dedicated to them. As you see, they were supposed to be in Brazil to fight some sort of ancient god or something, and they had their own plot on the other side of Thule, the hub world for the game. Also, within these chapters, we're supposed to explain how they survived Singularity's wrath. Then there was another chapter where all three Bayonettas was going to team up and go back to the locations from the first two games. Then the Johns from the first two games also had missions. They were most likely a part of John's Sigurd missions. Those are just a few things I wanted to list from the cut content from the game that would greatly improve the game's story. I just wanted to add before I get to the next entry. A lot of things were cut because of the Nintendo Switch's hardware not being able to keep up, and there's rumors that Bayonetta 3 along with the first two games will be released onto the Nintendo Switch 2. This version of Bayonetta 3 will be the definitive version of the game, with all the cut content added back in. So we just have to wait and see if Platinum Games keep their word. 3D Yoshi game, Croc Legend of the Gobos prototype. Croc Legend of the Gobos is a 1997 platform video game developed by Argonaut Software and published by Fox Interactive. Croc was released for the PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and Windows. It was pitched to Nintendo as a prototype for a 3D game in which the protagonist is Yoshi from the Super Mario series, but it was ultimately rejected by Nintendo, ending the relationship and prompting Argonaut to retool the game as an original property. There is no screenshots nor footage. It is hard to give a fair judgment, and I'm not sure if this entry should be on this list and in this video, but I'm a sucker for the Yoshi games, and finding out about this information only made me wonder about the beta and was it better than the final version, which is Croc. I do enjoy the Croc series and they're decent games. Sometimes I don't appreciate the tank controls. I just hate life sometimes. Oh my god! Though I can't stand Nintendo's behavior when it comes to copyright in certain emulators. Despite that, I am such a sucker for their games and they're always able to cheese me. In recent years, I've come to enjoy the Yoshi games. Ah, except for Yoshi's Island. I'm sorry, but I can't stand that game. Yoshi's Woolly World, Yoshi's Crafted World, and Yoshi's Story are some of my favorite video games. So when discovering that Croc was originally pitched as a 3D Yoshi game leaves me feeling a bit disappointed. It would have been fantastic to have a fully realized 3D Yoshi game, especially considering that Yoshi has never had one. Yoshi has a lot of potential with his unique mechanics such as the ability to eat enemies, shoot eggs, and somewhat fly. Experiencing those abilities in a 3D environment would have been truly amazing. Unfortunately, we live in a timeline where that didn't happen. And there you have it. 5 more video game betas that are better than the final version. Also, if you have more video game betas that you think should have been in this list, let me know in the comment section below and I might just make a part 3. Don't forget to like the video if you found it interesting. Consider subscribing for more content like this. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you in the next video.